Hello there, welcome to another stream. We are, as usual, going to be doing 45-minute long writing sprints, clearly two of them. I'm so happy to have you. Just a little warning before we start, I had a bit of a sore throat this morning. So if it gets worse, we may keep talking to a minimum, or to a bit less. I don't know. It seems fine now, but this morning I was struggling to talk, so we'll see what happens. But yes, hi. I was running around a bit getting set up, so I don't actually have any timers open or anything, but we'll get to that when we get to that. We have Crystal here. Hello, Crystal. Happy Vampire Saturday. I don't think that's a thing, but it's Saturday in general to the vampire of the chapter. And also Nina's here. Happy to see you. There's some underwater going on. Oh dear. Okay. Is that still happening? Time to check my mic. I don't actually know how to fix that because I'm just using my laptop's microphone. Let me know if it's still there and I figure out how to fix it. Also, Lisa's here. We make it not together. Very glad to hear that. I hope that you get lots of stuff done. Let me know what you are working on as well. Okay. Panicked for a second. I keep meaning to buy myself a mic for streaming because it doesn't let me use my camera mic and I don't even think it's the mic. I think it's the laptop that's the problem. So really, I need a laptop. But we'll figure it out at some point. I feel like for now it's fine because yeah. But also my fan's been going today. It probably isn't helping. Hopefully, it'll calm down a little bit after the first sprint because we were just making some YouTube over lunch, so it's being pushed a little bit. Yeah, I am going to be working on Project Site today, as usual. I was considering not streaming just because my throat is sore, but I knew if I could stream, I would not get writing today because I have to go during streams and not to write if I'm hoping. My toothbrush is in front. That was still in front. It's fine. Yeah, but we're gonna be working on Project Site. I was looking at my monkey track, or old track, yeah. I was looking at my track stats this morning, and I am just a little bit over and 1.5 behind, which 2 45-minute sprints will get just on top of things. So that would be really fun. So we're gonna be trying to do that. Crystal is working on Project Incarnate. Chapter 20 out of 31, so close. Are you trying to finish that this month, or do you have a goal? When can I read it? Basically, that. And Nina, right? We shall see. I sure hope that you do. Fingers crossed. And god damn it, I'm back on the wall. Okay, I'm gonna still sprint, and then I'm gonna figure out if I can fix my microphone. That seems like the best way to do this. I do not want to be doing stuff live. Hopefully you can hear me just enough to understand that I'm looking for a sprint. I saw that Jess put up a new timer. Our goals. There's a couple of new sprint timers. Probably I'm also on the water. Nina. And Lisa's reading, so it's great. Yeah, look for timers, and we shall use them because they look very good. I've not looked at them in detail yet. But I'm trying to avoid talking because if I'm very underwater, I don't want to make it worse. Oh my goodness. Purple florals with a little cross on the side. Crystal's goal is to finish what I can when I'm at this point, moving on what I can when I can at this point. I'm moving half on Wednesday, so you meant moving on from this project on Wednesday? Okay, that makes sense. And I'm still in the nose phase, so I'm actually not thinking out yet. Not fair enough. Let's get into a sprint, and I will figure out the max situation while we sprint. 45 minutes. Have a lovely sprint and happy productivity. towards the end of the sprint. Oh dear, my fans literally just started again. How did that go for people? Please let me know if I'm still on the water. I spent the entirety of that sprint messing around with my audio settings and just like trying to get things working. I think really the main problem is that my laptop's getting too hot. Okay, good. My fan is still going, but it's going less frantically than it was going before. Basically, I think it is the fan that was doing it. Because it's like some like messing with the low pass filter settings, like noise cancellation and stuff. If the fan's too loud, the program can't do that to my voice, so it just like meshes it and stuff. And I couldn't get my fan to stop. I closed everything, like I unplugged it from the wall so it would cool down a bit. It just wasn't doing the thing. So eventually I went and got my boyfriend's laptop out, added myself into the stream, shared the same timer and switched over to sharing from his screen, restarted my laptop, the fan stopped, and now I'm back on my own laptop. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't like start again because it's very warm today, which is a bit worrying, but I'm glad that it's kind of working now. Thank you for confirming. Oops. Okay, good. Very happy about this. I was watching back the intro to the stream and I'm like, I sound so bad. How are you guys putting up with this? Like, thank you for staying. I love you. We had some comments. Let's see. Mars is here. Hello, Mars. So happy to see you. Mars is planning on editing a video this morning, but can't do that while they have other stuff open on their computer. I appreciate you watching the stream instead of editing. That is so sweet. So that's now a late activity. Maybe I'll read. I don't have much going on today. Well, if you're reading, let us know what you're reading. And you know, I am doing 45-minute sprints, so if you like set yourself a timer on your phone, you can always jump across if you want to edit. But I appreciate you being here though. Also, Cake is here. Apparently the stream didn't show up at all. I scheduled it yesterday morning, so like, because last time I streamed, I wasn't sure if I was gonna make it back home in time, so I literally scheduled it like 10 minutes before going live. This time I did it in advance, so it should have shown up. So it is YouTube's fault and not my fault this time. But I'm glad that you're here. Nina loves that my cat always tiptoes onto my lap, like I can't see her. If she is slow, she even stops and stares when I look at her. That is adorable. I love that. Aww. And Crystal's glad she's not the only one with the cat distraction right now. Made the mistake of waking Assie up. Now I'm the cat pet. Cutie. Also Melissa's here, jumping in for some writing sprints. I was watching the track bear leaderboard this morning and you've just sort of like scooped right on top of me overnight, so your writing's going well, keep going. I'm glad that you're here. I think that was you if I'm remembering correctly. Someone scooped past me in the morning anyway. I think that was Melissa. Also, Keika said YouTube also showed me that the stream was happening at 5 PM Central European. Well, I definitely did not schedule it for 5 PM Central European, so I don't know what's going on there. And Keika also went shopping today and got Arcane Season 1 on Blu-ray in a steel box and an iced strawberry matcha. That sounds amazing. I am very jealous. I will actually be getting a matcha tomorrow because I got like, it was my birthday a couple of weeks ago, and the cafe that I go to regularly sent me like a little discount on cake sort of voucher, and that's running out, so I need to like go use it soon, otherwise I won't have it. So my plan for tomorrow is to go into town early and get myself a little matcha and a little cake, and maybe take it to the park and do some writing, and I'm very excited. Melissa got 568 words that round. That is amazing, and I will never be catching up again, seeing how I didn't get any writing done that sprint. Crystal says, yeah, that makes sense. The fan was messing with the mic. Laptop mics are rubbish for separating between background noise and people. Yeah, I did actually try like turning off the like filtering and stuff. But then I was like in a separate recording studio and like seeing how I sound and stuff. And I was just so quiet, like I had to talk really loudly to get anything like audible without that little program that does the separation. So I'm glad that the fan stopped anyway. If I have to, I can go back into settings and disenable that again. Or I can steal my boyfriend's laptop. We'll see. It was still translatable, even if we missed a review. I'm so sorry. Crystal started working on the chapter, but then it became a kettle cuddle sprint. Ah, cutie cuddle sprint. I love that. Also, Skeek is here. Hello, happy to see you. Sorry, I was reading the next comment while putting this one up for some reason. This is not a difficult comment to read. I don't know why my brain stopped working there. Nice to see you, Skeek. And Mars says, oh no, my laptop literally will not let me edit if I have another tab open. It will overheat, so I can't even like stop working in the editing software to jump over to the stream. Well, that doesn't sound great, but also don't you have a computer? Because I feel like your computer would be better for editing if you wanted to use that instead. Of course, you did just move, so like I don't know how set up your office is, but yeah. Skeek just got home from work. It's a holiday in Norway today, Constitution Day. So I have two questions. Why were you working on a Saturday, and why were you working on a holiday? But I'm glad that you're home. Mars is reading Stars Above. It's a short story collection set in the world of the Lunar Chronicles. Ooh. I have not read the Lunar Chronicles, but I have heard about them, and they are on my list. Nina hasn't written this month at all. It's been a month of just chaos and stress. So starting to write is hard. Also, the songs I currently listen to on repeat do not fit the vibe of my project. Well, I think you should take the next sprint to make yourself a project playlist. And then you can start writing after. I might end up doing 3 sprints. We'll see what happens, because like my boyfriend's Skyping after the sprint and he's gonna want to use the room, but I didn't write during the first sprint because I was running around with the mic stuff, so I did want to get some writing done today. Literally showed me 5 o'clock. Alright, don't know why that happened. Melissa says, haha, that might happen me. I updated from last night's sprints. That's built into early this morning. Yeah, maybe. Well, you got a lot of writing done last night. YouTube. Also, guys, I saw today in the bookshop attached to my station a book that I had ordered with the others, but that was set to arrive from July to November. Because Keiko wanted the English hardcover, but the German hardcover. That's exciting. The German hardcover is available. Kinda mad, the river is not flowing as it should. Mars does have a big computer, but the editing software doesn't work on there. Okay, there was some glitch that I never got around to figuring out, so because it's easy enough to just edit on my laptop. Okay, fair enough. I absolutely cannot edit on this laptop, it would just break. But also I kinda just need a new laptop at this point. Which I might be getting at some point. My boyfriend's been wanting to get me a Mac, but like I've never really used the Apple operating system. So then like he was gonna get this for my birthday, and then he decided that the obvious answer, because I'm hesitant, is to buy himself a Mac so that I can try it out, and then if I want one, I can have one afterwards. So like that might be happening at some point, but for now the laptop works well enough, as long as it's not super warm and everything breaks down for no reason. I did close literally all of my tabs, so I'm just looking around for timers again. Where's everything gone? Yeah. I don't know how much you could hear earlier, but I was talking about the Hexed library, Hexed Hourglass, uploading a bunch of new spring timers, and I am super excited to be using some of these. They're really, really pretty. I really like these timers. They make me very happy. I was a little bit sad when Jess like stopped making them, but now they're back. Uh, Nina also never used Mac, but now has one and likes it so much, not for gaming, but for writing and watching shit so far. That's really good to hear. I am worried that I'm gonna like struggle to get used to it. So like, if you've never used one and you really like it, that's very good to hear. That sounds like a great way to get into a Mac. I've heard Macs are great for creativity rubbish. For creativity, but rubbish for everything else. Okay. Aunt and kid both got a Mac, and I also need a new laptop, and well, I followed my friends. Yeah, that's fair enough. I really could use a new laptop too, but I want exactly the same as what I have, just not from 2016. Yeah, fair enough. My laptop, I think, is from early 2019. Um, and like, it was just a cheap little thing that I got because I was gonna be traveling and I wanted something that I could carry around very easily. And it's lasted longer than I expected it to last for the price I got it from, but it's like slowly falling apart. Like the screen is like slightly loose, so like I'm always worried when I pick it up that it's just gonna completely like fall over. But alright. It was a learning curve, but for what I needed, it works great. That's awesome. Okay, we're gonna be jumping into another sprint. Hopefully, my laptop doesn't start screwing up again when I share the screen. And I can actually do some writing this time around. Wouldn't that be nice? During a writing sprint. Okay, we're gonna do 45 minutes. See you soon. how did everyone do for that one? I actually did some writing this time around, which is good. That is the entire point. I've been going through this chapter that I've been struggling with a little bit because I'm working on a subplot that wasn't there in the original draft, and this chapter is where I sort of started introducing it because I already had a scene in there where this character arrives to something else being late. So what I'm doing is actually having a starving scene, which is the reason he's late, and that's where the subplot starts. But I did that already, so today I'm just revising the second half of the chapter, which is what I originally had anyway. And that's going a lot better. That's a lot easier to write than the first half was. But I've got like maybe half a page left to revise, so I feel like we might do like a little 10-minute cooldown sprint if people are up for that, just so I can finish the chapter and get that wrapped up. Especially since I didn't do any writing the first sprint. We had a little bit of like people chatting during the sprint, which is nice. Where did I leave off? So Crystal's saying that she loves the command center, big ass tower, but kinda wish I had a laptop for writing. Yes, I absolutely love my computer, but because I travel to see family a lot and like I really like writing outdoors, I do kinda need both. But yeah, laptops are great for writing outdoors with, basically. That is my entire use case for them. And Mars apparently only has 2 short stories left to read, so probably gonna finish the sprint. Very exciting. Crystal's having a giggle over here, as Google, Mars, and Crystal battled continually with the word skeptic, and skeptic with C and K. Because Google can't decide what it wants, while Crystal really wants to spell it with a K because C looks wrong. I didn't realize you could spell it with a C, so that's news to me. Also, apparently the last short story in Mars's book is 85 pages, which I would argue that is not a short story. That is a long story, if you will. Keiko also didn't know that you can write skeptic with a C. Is that like an American thing, or is that like just a I'm a foreign European and don't know how to spell thing? Crystal's only ever used it with a K, but apparently Canadian English is like, bitch, you're wrong. Oh, interesting. Love how I asked that without reading the comment, and the comment had all the information I wanted. The amounts of times the spell check have begged me to write skeptical instead of skeptical makes me very upset. So, hold on. So, you use it with a K in other places, but with a C in Canada? But then why is it trying to get you to spell it with a C? Are you trying to keep it with a K for publishing? Because I'm guessing your market isn't just Canada, so. Keiko's amused by this. Also, Mars has 8 pages left in this last story, and oh, it's so cute, the whole collection has been so good. That sounds lovely. Oh. I just realized my English in the answer to Crystal's chat post is all messed up. That's alright, I barely even noticed. Lisa's gotta go. Thanks for the sprints, this was so helpful. Bye bye, Lisa. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Crystal's getting to the fight scene with Charles and the small army of vampires. Gotta love a good Charles fight scene. Just anything with Charles. Perfect. It's going well, just not for the characters. Had to rewrite the changing tide portion. So it's going. So exciting. Nina says, I actually write, I'm guessing you mean wrote, apparently around 507 words, which is crazy because I felt like I was so extremely slow. I anticipated like 200 words. That is amazing. I'm so proud of you. Well done for writing. I know it's difficult to get back into it after a long break. Skeek is reading a craft book called Refuse to Be Done. I'm guessing from the title that that's gonna be like about editing, which is really cool because I know you're gonna be starting to edit your first book, which is exciting. I'm excited to see what you think about it because I still haven't accomplished my goal of reading a craft book this year. I keep starting crafts book and dropping them, but hopefully I will find one that I can finish eventually. And he's doing a stream with Becca about it at the end of the month. Very exciting. Divyang, let me know how to pronounce that if I'm getting it wrong. But this person asks, how do you get motivation to write? Do you believe in love or in hatred? Just asking. Okay, well, how do I get motivation to write? With difficulty. I think the fact that I really like my characters, and I'm not necessarily excited for what I'm currently writing, but I'm excited for the bit coming up, so like that helps because I gotta get through the current chapter to get to the really exciting chapter I've got coming up. I do believe in love, and I also believe in hatred. That's a fun question. Mars is saying skeptic is British with a C. Interesting. I did not know that. Skeptic with a K is American. And in Norwegian we spell it skek. Fun fact. So the skeptic with a C is apparently only common in Canada and Australia nowadays. Okay. I mean, I'm in Britain and I've never seen it spelled with a C before, so that makes sense. Nina agrees with the K because in German it's skeptic. I'm trying to figure out what the word for this in Spanish. I don't actually know, to be honest. Same with Keiko. And Nina says, I thought that said rewrite the changing tide pod. Very confused. Except for potential in German. Yes. It is about editing. Exciting. And Crystal's writing predominantly in Canadian English because it takes place in Canada. Oh, that makes sense. But there's some words you can't convince me to use with Canadian spelling. Or British spelling in some cases. That's funny. I'm not looking forward to, like, figuring out that side of publishing because, like, I'm not British, but I mostly write in British spelling, but then a lot of my books, like, with American characters, but it's also, like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I should figure out what spelling I want to use. And I also have a word that's, like, spelled differently in different countries in my title. I'm not gonna tell you what my title is, but there is a very key word in there, and I gotta figure out how I'm gonna spell that. I'm not looking forward to that. Cake is saying, guys, at least we have continuously the same spelling. The German government changes the official spelling for stuff every goddamn year. That's hilarious. I still have a couple of, like, German books with the wrong spelling that are, like, quite old. Mostly before that, like, really big change where a bunch of, like, double S's and that, like, Greek beta letter got switched over. And there's books in there that I want to read, but I don't want to read books with the wrong spelling because I read in German so rarely these days. I don't want to, like, mess up my brain and completely forget how to spell. So that's fun. Also, Jack is interesting. I agree. Well, they might be really outdated. Yes. Also, that would make me cry. This whole choosing a spelling type thing is frustrating as hell. They might be really outdated, yep. I can't remember what it was, but I read something recently that was by a British author. Like 90% of the spelling choices were American, presumably because the publisher, but some of it was British. And it was very jarring when the random British spelling popped up. Yeah, like, I can see that, but, like, I can't always tell the difference, so I'm definitely gonna need to get some help with this when I'm ready. But Keiko says, when I go into first grade, dolphin/delphine was written with a PH instead of an F. I continued writing it with an F because it looked prettier. I did not realize that had changed. I feel like with an F it sounds better. Anyway. They also changed the spelling for fantasy like 3 years ago. Oh my god, what with a PH? Absolutely not. Okay, after that, we're gonna have to do another sprint for me to calm down about spelling. And yeah, as I said, I'm like almost done with this chapter, so I feel like maybe like a 10-minute cooldown sprint would be good. I feel like 15 minutes is way more than I need, so I'm sorry if this is like a really short one. And we're gonna go with this really pretty spring altar one that Jess also made. Hmm. Share my screen again, and happy sprinting. See you all in 10 minutes. the end of the sprint, and that was our final sprint of the day. I am absolutely loving all the German discussion happening in the comments at the minute. This is so funny. I finished my chapter. Yay! Very exciting. Let me know how people did during the final sprint and during the stream in general, if you want to. I'm not going to read all of this German discussion, even though I am thoroughly enjoying it, because I don't think most people are going to be able to follow it. But where did I leave off? This is a lot of comments, you guys. I think possibly this one. It was an obvious spelling difference, like center versus center. Also, fantasy with PH. That sounds stupid. Also, this is really funny. Like, imagine the kids going to school and being told, "Okay, kids, the spelling has changed of some words. Here's a list." Yeah, I remember having to do that. That was not fun. Very diabolical. Center is better, apparently. And I would say that center with the R first is better. Keiko doesn't know why they did that. I get that after some time they made writing nightmare. With a P official as well, you still have to choose which one you're gonna use, because most people pronounce the word with a P instead of a P, but PH. See, I've only ever seen that with a B instead of a P. I never know which of the British and which is American. Some words like the OU thing is obvious, but I'd never noticed that. This is very valid. Also, organization versus organization. There was one that Crystal spelled with a U that completely called Mass of God. When I was doing edits, I can't remember what it was, but it was something I'd never expected a U to be in. Like color versus color and stuff like that I get, but this one I was just like, what? It was odor. That's funny. Okay, so on some of this German discussion, I would definitely say das level and die Nutella. I will take no arguments on that. Crystal's gonna jump off to make dinner. Food sounds smart, and there's gonna be some grocery shopping going on in the Honeybox household. Das level, yes, cake, definitely. Maybe it's an Austrian thing. The only person I know who said das level also said Norland, apricot and kartoffel. So, okay. No, Nina, not their level. And Mars finished reading. Yay, exciting. I'm sorry, Martha. No, this is really, really funny, and it's also like I haven't spoken German in ages, so it's like nostalgic for when I was in school and like giving me all these memories back, and I'm having a great time looking at all this. I mostly chatted here during that sprint and then realized lunch would be a thing. No words this sprint, had to argue about words, love that. What do you have? Schorle, Aprikose and Kartoffel to fit? And all of these are key. Fair enough. I mean, they said German words and not Austrian ones. I will never be caught saying Schorle, Aprikose or Kartoffel. Yes, because B with B Albtraum is the original word because of its origin. Okay. Wait, what do you call it? I'm having a different word. I can totally see. This is so funny. Don't apologize. This is fun. Kartoffel is Erdapfel, which means I've forgotten English now. Apple of the earth. I think I've vaguely heard that one before. I've never heard Marilla before. Yes, Earth Apple. Thank you. Earth Apple does not make any sense, by the way. I don't know where the word cuttlefish comes from. No, me neither. Earth Apple is the funniest out of context message. Yes. Hi Jake Lambo. Unfortunately, I am literally just about to end the stream, so I'm really sorry about that. But lovely to see you. To reply to how are we all, I am doing well, and I just finished my chapter during the last little cooldown sprint. So no more writing for me today. I am going to be doing some relaxing in the evening and playing Stardew Valley. Fighting over German versus Australian spelling, yeah, pretty much. Sorry if a lot of the discussion doesn't make a lot of sense to non-German speakers. Sounds fun, indeed. So that was the end of the comments, which means it's the end of the sprint of the stream. We did go like 20 minutes above my usual time, so I think we've done very well. And thank you, Keiko? JK, I don't know why I read that as Keiko. Yes, I will be ending the stream. Thank you very much for joining. I hope that you have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. If you just got here, I hope that you find a different stream or just are able to get words in by yourself. And have a productive and lovely and wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye bye.